I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just look good. No, I'll just do it in front of her, shouldn't I?
Going! He's kept going! He scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the superb goal. Johnny did it. Lisa! Rose trying to get the ball in. Wilkinson! The Warwick! His first goal in 13 days. Towards Sarswick, it is and the score! Oh, Paddy Madden! It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
If you listen really carefully, you can hear the sound of the window slamming shut 21 hours ago. We well and truly slammed it shut. We did everything. It slammed it. Oh, brilliant. Right, welcome to a delayed by 24 hours episode of SK3 TV. Probably best in hindsight that we did delay it, actually, because there's a lot to talk about. Yes, we're here every week, normally on a Monday, giving you all the county chat you could possibly need. With me, Nick, it's Hannah. Hello.
I'm excited.
We've got an all-timer of a show ahead of us. I mean, for those who don't know, we've got our chronological, dramatic retelling of the events of yesterday, and then somehow need to fit in several like at least 2 matches as well somehow.
Two that have been. I'd completely forgotten that Shrewsbury happened, so
Yes.
Thanks for reminding me about that. And yeah, Orient and Barnsley to come.
It's so. I mean, the dramatic retelling of the deadline day is going to take us up till about 5 to 9.
Do you reckon?
Then...
I feel like I missed out on huge parts of it because I was doing from 8 till we finished, which was about 11:15. We did the lower league look transfer deadline day, which we've done for years, and it's always fun. And once again, Harry McCurdy kept us up late, and it was only announced a couple of hours ago. So, but I felt like I missed out on everything that was going on the WhatsApp group. So I'm looking forward to having gaps filled.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you or for the viewers, but I learned things about myself yesterday that I don't like. I don't like myself at the best of times. And then some of the revelations that came out yesterday, I'm not sure about myself as a person anymore. So
Wow.
we'll get onto that shortly. But after the admin, we are, of course, proudly sponsored by Blackbird Kitchen, now cooking at Gorilla in Manchester. And if you book before the 16th of February, you can get 50% off your food bill. And with that in mind, you had a little day trip out at weekend.
I went to see. I didn't tell Andy I was going. I didn't tell anyone I was going.
No, I noticed that.
I did book on the website beforehand, which is what you need to do to get the 50% off. And yeah, I went on Sunday and I booked, I think maybe Sunday, I don't know. Anyway, I booked and it was ace. Really, really good. Have you got photos? Oh, amazing. So I messaged Andy. I was like, I've taken some wanky food photos. So they were halloumi sticks. I didn't actually try any of those because I took Charlotte and one of Charlotte's friends, and there was no looking in on those at all.
When you ate them, did you go into the toilets and look at yourself in the mirror and go, "Hello, me"? Because that's the type of thing I'd have done.
No, but I wish that I told the girls to do that because I would have got that typical like queen eye roll, and then they would have laughed like, even though they didn't want to.
This is no fun for the audio readers.
Oh no,
I don't care. I don't care.
What would be the audio? It's a Jenga of halloumi fries with 2 dips. The girls, I couldn't even tell you what they were because the girls didn't even go near them.
Really?
Yeah, and I was about to stick my finger in it when the waitress took it away, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've kind of."
Oh, I'd have been licking them off the plate, me.
Yeah. So I don't know what they were, but the halloumi was very nice, and they weren't for sharing. These were mega. So these were ham and cheese, probably croquetas, but croquettes. And that's like a Dijon mustard, like, you know, shenanigans. Oh my God, they were so good. And both Charlotte and Zoe had a considerable amount of those as well. So yeah, highly recommend those.
I always thought if I didn't do this podcast, what podcast would I like to do? And I've always thought off menu, and now I feel like I am on off menu. It's very nice.
Yeah, that's Charlotte's chicken roast. So you get your roasties, you get your Yorkshire pudding with all of them. It doesn't matter; they don't discriminate. Like carrot and swede mash kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
cabbage and greens. Chicken, carrot, very, very good.
Everything you need for a succulent.
And like different gravies. And they do a vegan roast and they do vegan gravy. And they also do a pie roast as well. So instead of having like your meat, you can have a pie, and there were a load of different pies you could choose from.
I've got really into pie roasts at home.
I've never had such a thing, but I will again. Right, come on, what's next? I'm getting hungry now. I've not had my tea yet.
I'm starving.
That with cauliflower cheese, banging. Like, yeah, regular listeners of the pod will know, and people that I've forced to eat the cauliflower at the produce hall. Phil Lloyd, he knows. I forced him to eat it once. Yeah, so cauliflower cheese. It's very nice. Enjoyed it.
I like cauliflower. I approve of all of these messages so far.
That's my lamb roast. But what's coming next? So Charlotte, when she went in, she came up and was like, right, I want the cookie pie for dinner. Right. What if you were for dessert rather? If you were ordering a cookie pie, what would you think that you'd get?
If I was to order a cookie pie, I would expect the traditional, basically a big lump of cookie dough / a big cookie with ice cream and sauces and all that sort of stuff.
Same.
That's the standard.
Same.
What did you get?
Click through. That's what I didn't get it. Charlotte and Zoe got one each. It's an actual pie made of cookie, and inside, if you go to the next picture.
Next slide, please.
Look! So that was Charlotte's actual face when she like went into her cookie pie, which was obviously a cookie pie, but at this point we still hadn't really realized and found the chocolate and caramel, and that little kind of pot to the side of it is cream. It was awesome. Is there
anything that man can't do with a bit of pastry?
I mean, honestly, now I feel incredibly, like, even more hard done to about the pies. Because
I know. Oh, not this again.
I mean, it's the fucking cookie pie. Like, yeah. So I highly recommend. There was an apple pie that sounded really good as well. Oh, shit. I've just realised. Would it have been a pie? Like an Andy's pie?
There's only one way to find out.
Can we ask him? Because I feel like now, I like, yeah, it could have been like a proper pie with the. Oh, I didn't think.
You've just opened up a world to me.
Right, we'll just have to get back, won't we?
That was incidentally the face that Charlotte's showing off there is the exact face I made at around 11 p.m. last night.
Me too. I know, like, I was actually on, like, we were still, and I was like, oh! And they're like, who is it? Yeah.
So, I mean, it all started in earnest early in the morning. Well, it started for us towards the end of December, of course, because we announced the signing before the window had even started. So take that, moaners. And then we had the reports from elsewhere that we were signing a defender on loan from Norwich, and you'd think, right, good business, because the defence as it is now, they're going to have to do very badly to get displaced. It's going to take some injuries or suspensions on current form, so we need cover.
Yeah.
So we would say that as a signing
And
makes
Sam
sense.
Hughes has gone out, so
Sam Hughes has gone out.
who was that?
Jay Mingy has disappeared off the face of the earth. So we needed bodies there. We've got that. Prior to that, of course, Jack Stretton left by mutual consent on mutual termination. Makes complete sense. He's not going to get in the side, especially given the targets we're bringing in.
Thank you for your service, Jack.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that goal against Salford that looked like a footballer on the front of a greetings card. And I'll continue to get laughs out of that, even though he's gone. That's it. And obviously he's free to join a club after the window closes because his contract. So that's done. And 3 o'clock, of course, we've got the announcement of Hills from Norwich.
Yeah. And by all accounts, like people not related to county and not so, I know a couple of recruiters at various clubs in different leagues, and both of them were like, he's a player.
Yeah.
He is an absolute star. You're gonna love him. He was brilliant at Accrington. He won their player of the season. John Coleman said he was their best ever loan signing. And he's gone back to Norwich. He's been faffing around a bit, and now he's coming to us.
Yeah, it's the logical next step for his progression because he smashed it in League Two last season by all accounts. So it makes sense, and it's not like, I mean, it's a common theme with loans, particularly under Challinor and Wilson. I think is that for the most part, Louis Barry aside, we've used them to fill out the squad and add depth rather than relying on them because I don't want to rely on a lone player again.
No, and the other thing about loan players and kind of stuffing your squad with them is, when we talk about not whispering anything about having another season in League One next season, and building the squad up, and this season's almost like pre-season, and so you need those players. You want that continuity into next season. So, we can't have players that we're necessarily incredibly reliant on. But we also, not so much Brad Hills, but definitely Cosgrove. His contract's up in the summer. So, if it works out, then there's that option as well.
So we got the teaser from Liam at 2:50. We got it was a.
Sorry if
really
I just skipped ahead.
No. I'm just going chronologically because there's a lot to fill, but we will be getting to Cosgrove, don't you? We'll talk about him at about 5 to 9 probably once we've gone through everything that happened because it went weird at points. So announcement at 3 o'clock, and that's when the speculation starts because obviously they say the first of our deadline day signings, and that sets people off. Yeah, it makes people do things they wouldn't normally do.
Does it?
There were hours to fill, Hannah. There were hours to fill. I tweeted that I was contemplating selling feet pictures to.
I do remember that actually.
People with little to live for, which was very tempting at one point. Caught up on some of the telly that I recorded at Christmas. I caught up on some of that. So they've got a bloke doing the Queen's speech now. The woke madness. Absolutely mental. Did not expect that. Livid, absolutely livid with that. And then obviously things, rumours start coming out. We saw the tweet that I think you read out on Lower League Look about a fella from the Israeli league, and then you look at the account and it's got 53 followers, and you're like, oh god, let's just write this one off. And then I found myself doing something, Hannah. There's many things that I despise about modern football. People who've never been to a game in their lives, slagging each other and players off on Twitter, VAR, the increased putting of the game under the microscope, and something that I've previously despised along with all those things.
Non-conforming kickoff times.
Non-conforming kickoff times, of course. 5:25, get in the bin. But there's one thing that probably has always annoyed me on deadline day more than all others. That's the flight radar nonsense.
But
I did not think I'd become one. I didn't. I thought we'd be mid-table in the championship before someone started. And when I say flight radar nonsense, I'm saying it in the nicest terms possible because I was doing it. I don't. It turns out flight radar's really good.
Have you
Like,
deleted
not
it
just for
now?
deadline day.
Like,
I did, but then I got bored last night and just installed it again, just for a laugh, really. When a plane flies over, like have a look. But yeah, so we got to this point where the Vita jet was going, and I'm imagining Mark Stock just having a fleet of vehicles. He's got like the Vita jet, the Vita mobile.
Right.
He's got a Batman thing going on like under his house or something.
yeah.
So someone noticed. It's insane to be
What
even
time
talking
was
about
this in the chronology of yesterday?
It was somewhere in between. I think it was about 7ish. I think it was between
Okay.
6 and 7.
All
Someone's
right.
gone out for a tea time flight. This flight was going from the Netherlands to Manchester. Now, I am convinced that Mark Stott has paid the pilot and said, go and fly to the Netherlands and back just for a laugh. Go on, let's see if they get with it. Because we know that he looks at Twitter and stuff like that. We know he's looking. He must have been cackling like an evil genius when he saw all that.
Well, he probably just owns the plane and then like charters it out to other people.
Correct. Yeah. Or he's trying to bring some weed back and everyone's drawing attention to it. Is he, one of the two. So it's clear. But then, as if that wasn't weird enough, a member of the group chat we're in, shout out to Hayden, he started Googling teams
Yes,
that were
I did,
near
yeah.
where the plane took off from, and found a player who was followed by a county employee on Twitter, as well as being followed by Lewis Bate and Louis Barry. Turns out he'd been in academies with both of them players. He'd been at Barca and Chelsea, so that solved that. But then seeing a club employee follow it and then thinking, oh god, well this is it now. We were getting excited. At one point, Ben Walker was working out whether he was the first player we'd ever had who had 7 names, one of which was the name of a former target of ours, because one of his which is the weirdest. I mean, Ben's the man. Ben and Chris Eaton are the 2 county fans for niche trivia stuff.
Wow.
But that just blew my mind. I had to have a lie down after that. I was like, right, wake me up again. Then a very silly name started circulating.
Who's also a Dutch.
Who's
young
also
Dutch
a Dutch striker playing in the top flight of Dutch football. His name started floating around bizarrely. I'm not even going to say his name because it'll annoy people more if I don't say his name. He has a hilarious name. That filled a good 90 minutes in the group chat of just making
Puns.
jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he'd signed, I wouldn't have slept. I would have been up all night just tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. And then we got to the nitty gritty. We got to 9 o'clock.
Oh no, hang on.
Oh,
Can
what
we just go
what
back
happened?
because you've skipped my absolute favorite highlight of deadline day.
Tell me.
Right. So about 6 o'clock, someone says, can someone confirm that the lights are on?
Oh God. Oh yes. This is stunning.
Right. So then you get 2 separate people who like from the upstairs. I think, one lives a little bit around the corner. I don't know. Anyway, yes, the floodlights are on. Shit. Right. They must be doing the media promo stuff, like big signings. They don't do those at Carrington, like Louis Barry, pitch, like floodlights, all of that. Getting very, very excited. I became aware of who it was having their photo taken on the pitch.
Yes. And what did you do, Hannah?
I added a message to the group saying, lads, I know who's having their photo taken on the pitch at Edgeley Park. And I was like, right, this needs to be like circle of trust. You've got to keep this a secret. And everyone's like, yes, we'll keep it a secret. And I shared with them a picture of the very lovely Dan Malt, who was on the pitch at Edgeley Park, because he's doing the Kickstart thing that they're doing on a Monday night, which is awesome. Like, I'd love to do it if we weren't doing this on a Monday night, but we are. And so yeah, it was Dan Malt who was having his, his picture taken on.
And I wasn't taken aback by the photo. I was like, can he win a header? Can he win a few headers for 20 minutes on a Saturday afternoon?
He looks enthusiastic.
Yeah. He looked like he was loving it. And those hours got filled nicely. I mean, I had to take a good hard look at myself, obviously, but I do that on a daily basis anyway. And then comes the very sultry Dave Challoner reclaiming the concept of the casting couch back from Harvey Weinstein. Right, he's using it for good. I had 3 women.
We don't know that.
I had 3 separate women send me messages, which is more than I've had messaged me in my life, to be fair. But 3 women sent me messages and said, "Oh, is it wrong that I'm a bit turned on by that?"
What, by Charlie on the couch?
Dave Charlie's husky voice on the couch, mentioning bedtime.
It's like, you know, when they get people like Ryan Gosling to do the CBeebies bedtime
That's
story.
exactly what it was. Yeah. That's it. Oh, we should do that. Maybe when Des Hinks writes his book, we'll get Charlie to do a CBeebies SKP bedtime story. Yeah, it was. And then, obviously, for the first time in my life, I've had notifications on for the club Twitter account because I'm sick of going in a WhatsApp group and seeing people go, "Oh, look," and I want to see it first. I want to be first. I want to have my finger on the pulse on deadline day.
Right.
And then it was the news we'd all been waiting for. This is going to be the most annoying bit of the show because there was such a downer on it immediately.
Yes,
like,
it was a very county reaction.
It really was. It's like, is that it? It's like, well, it makes complete sense. Everyone has been saying we need someone to take the pressure off Woods. We need someone who can bring on for Kyle Wootton with 20 minutes to go, who can get us up the pitch. Which, I mean, we'll get on to the last 2 games lately. That was something that was sorely lacking late on when we were under the cosh. So we'll get onto that. And we get, I mean, I'm not being too horrible, a lump of a striker. I love a lump of a striker.
A lump of a dirty striker, apparently, as well.
Yeah,
like,
so let's have that.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, and as if I wasn't. I mean, I don't think I even went through a period of being underwhelmed. I think immediately I was like, that makes sense. He's a player I've heard of. Like,
I was a little bit underwhelmed, only because I was so very excited for like whoever this, you know, Casemiro, you know, replacement was going to be. So I was a little bit underwhelmed, largely because as many of the grumpy county fans there were equally grumpy Barnsley fans going like, he doesn't start for us. He's a bit of a downgrade from.
Well, it was weird because you had Barnsley fans saying that. Saying, oh, thank God we've got shut of him. Oh, thank God we don't have to watch him play again. But then at the same time, there's also Barnsley fans going, why are we loaning a player to a promotion rival? Yeah. Which, I'll be honest, was music to my ears. Yeah. The shoe is on the other foot.
And he's not playing on Saturday, which is nice for them. And he'll be available for Bristol a week today. But I mean, the thing is as well, is that and there's been lots of chat about Louis Barry going to Hull and whether he actually fits the style of play. And you know, the same can be true for Cosgrove. And you know, as managers change and formations change and positions, you know, sometimes it's not the best fit. But that doesn't mean that just like when you're incredibly successful at one club, you don't automatically become successful at the next club you go to. Conversely,
we've seen that.
Odin Bailey, like the similar reaction to Odin Bailey 18 months ago when he first came. Is that it? Oh, wasn't it? You know, and now we've got a song about kidnapping him and never letting him go. So,
yeah, I mean, as something else that works in Cosgrove's favour as well is the fact that, as you mentioned earlier on, he's out of contract in the summer.
Yeah.
And Barnsley's statement on their website, he's not going back there. They're glad to see the back of him.
Yeah.
But he's playing for a contract either with us or elsewhere. So it's not going to be one of these more experienced loan players that we've had in the past who just goes through the motions.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense. Obviously, what swung it for me, I was a bit underwhelmed at first, and then what swung it for me was someone on the Facebook group saying, "Oh well, we could play him. Like, he's a decent target man. We can bring him on for Wootton, or he's quite mobile, so we can play him with Wootton." I was like, "Oh, let's just go full Burnley 2018. Just a couple of big men up top. Oh yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just for one game.
He is big, isn't he?
Yeah, 6'5", I believe, which is taller than me. We now have 2 players who make me look small.
Yeah. How tall's Woods?
I've got a picture of me with him somewhere. I think he's about the same as me.
I got a picture of Charlotte and Lewis Bates with Fraser Horsfall and Kyle Wootton.
Yeah.
It's great. It looks like, 2 dads are out with the kids. But yeah, like he scored 3 against Bolton in the playoffs and they still lost, which was an interesting take, but he is a little bit dirty from what I understand. But we've been saying for that's what we need.
Which I mean, we've got this rich history of physical strikers coming in. Ken Charlery, Courtney Duffus. It's a shame we're not playing Chesterfield because I could see Sam Cosgrove holding up the ball for 6 weeks in the corner of their pitch. It makes complete sense, fully on board, and obviously that gave way to a reaction from some of, "Oh, you can't end. Are we ending deadline day like that? Is that going to be it?" And then obviously Liam really earned his money at that point.
And then because there was also something like, it's our second signing, not our last signing.
Which they've done in the past. They've said this wraps up our business. So you think that, and then obviously the tweet, the 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And the picture
between that, going back to League Two at that point, I was gaslit into believing that a black man with short, natural 1A hair was Harry McCurdy.
It does weird things to us. Me on Flight Radar.
Like they were looking at, because it was a photo of this lad's back, and he had tattoos up his ear. I'm like, Harry McCurdy does not have a tattoo there. He's clearly got very dark hair that I could have dyed his hair. But do you know what the clinching thing was? The shape of his ears and how one earlobe was kind of fused to his neck in the same way that Harry McCurdy. So those two are going to get on like a house on fire.
Well, we had a bit of that to do ourselves because obviously that's when the hourglass emoji came out, and then the little teaser video, which to my knowledge we've only done for Louis Barry. That's the only signing in our history, I think, where we've done a video teaser. I'm fairly certain.
There was one. Who was it? And they said, "Oh, he's here and he's beautiful." And I'm sure that wasn't Louis Barry. And it was filmed in the Bagara like someone walking up the steps, and they filmed the back of it.
Get in touch, fact fans.
Was it Ethan Bristow?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope it's someone worthy of it. But obviously, we got this teaser video, and then I was doing the same thing as you. I was trying to, and at that point, I was tuned into yourself and Liam and the gang on the Lower League Look live show, and
I think I know what's coming.
I've never heard so much discussion of Adam's apples in my whole life.
And Taylor Swift. We got Taylor Swift in there as well.
It was I've never seen anything like it. And then at that point, I just went fully balls out of the bath on it, and I was telling everyone, I was like, it's Macaulay Langstaff. I had nothing to suggest it was, other than it was a white man who was signing for County. That was literally all I had. But I was like, right, no, go on. I'm going to have this one. I'm going to go all out with this one. I'm going to stake my reputation on it. It's like, it's Langstaff. But no, it wasn't. It was one hell of a coup of a signing.
Yeah.
The sort of sign that, from what I've seen, has made fans of most clubs in the league kind of sit up and go, oh, hello.
Yeah. Do you know
Owen
what?
Moxon.
Do you know what else is a coup?
Go on.
Guess who's sponsoring Owen Moxon?
Oh, really?
We are.
Oh, that was good breaking news. That was
I
news to
know.
me.
Why
That.
are you like that? I've been keeping it a secret.
Oh God, it felt like I was on. I felt like I was on Who Do You Think You Are? But I've just found something good about a family member, just like I'm related to Henry VIII. Oh yes, party time. Oh, best be good now, Owen. No pressure, mate. No pressure. Oh God. Oh,
It'd be
I've got-
nice about him.
I
Not
would
that you
never
wouldn't have
be.
been anyway. But
I am one of the many who has been an Owen Moxon
yes,
enjoyer for
same.
a couple of years. Superb against us in the playoff season, man of the
Yeah.
match at Wembley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wasn't he was League Two Young Player of the Year that year, I think, wasn't
player of the
he?
year. Went on
Um,
to win promotion from this league last season with Portsmouth, and then first thing I did was look at the reaction from Portsmouth fans.
yeah.
It's just a case of him not getting as much
No.
football as he's involved, but he's not getting as much football.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's
Yeah. And
yeah,
he
it's
also scored a Jack Stretton style
iconic goal.
title winning
Mm.
goal against, I think it was Derby. But
Yeah.
yeah, they, very much like him, respect him. I didn't see one bad thing. If the only thing, you should have had more game time.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if you'd gone out on loan and, maybe come back and gone back to Fratton Park. But
I think a loan was the plan because there's that article from the Lincoln blog, Stacey West, where one of the, I don't know if it's their head of recruitment or director of football, someone, but he said they were in for a player on loan from a championship club.
yes.
And then got gazumped by someone else. And there's only two players that fit the bill. One of
There's
them's Owen
another
Moxon.
one that's come out since, which is a Birmingham player who is on loan to buy, but we'll probably never know.
But as if we didn't already have a midfield embarrassment of riches.
I know.
It's just wow. I genuinely know. It's very rare that a signing properly makes me think, oh, especially as we've gone up the leagues. It's no longer in the National League when we're signing players from 2 leagues above. Every single signing, like, oh wow. But we knew. And I've had to say that. I feel like I've had to say that on like Facebook and stuff to people so many times. It's like we can't go signing players from 2 divisions higher now. But signing a player with his pedigree, who's still fairly young in football terms, 27. Just should be coming into his peak. Yeah, fantastic. Really happy.
And I think the really nice thing about him is, obviously he was a schoolboy. He went through. He kind of been at Carlisle for a good few years, and when there was so much noise about him, kind of respected him for staying. Like they could have gone for the money. He could have, there were ridiculous amounts being talked about. Yeah. And he's only been at Portsmouth for a year.
A year, pretty much a year to the day, pretty much. He signed on, I think, deadline day last year because he had 6 months left on his Carlisle contract. Yeah,
and he's signed 3.5 years with us.
3.5 year deal.
Which is
and this
brilliant.
is what there's been signings in the past where we've given him like Norwood, giving him a 3-year deal. You think, 33, but then again, he's never been injured, so. And he's playing fantastically at the moment. But this is the type of one where you do give a 3-year deal.
I don't know whether we'll have Norwood for that much longer. I don't know. But great, he's on a 3-year deal. Someone will pay for him, won't they?
Yeah, that's it.
But I think it's good as well, with interest in Bates, with it's good to have options again for that continuity into next season.
Camps and Collar both out of contract in the summer as well. So yeah. Very, very. It's going to be very interesting to see what we get on Saturday because obviously you don't want to
I know, and I did, but Charlie being Charlie, and I'm not sure if I've not mentioned this on the podcast, but I've definitely mentioned it in the WhatsApp group on Fan Hub. Over the last 5 games, I am top of the leaderboard, which is very exciting. But that's because Charlie doesn't change a winning team. So we are, however many you get, like 4 games in a row, 4 wins in a row. That's what, like, and I've, made changes based on injuries and things. But I think, especially given, do we have to, can we go Orient and then Shrewsbury and just kind of skim over Shrewsbury a bit?
I think, because there's not much to say on Shrewsbury. I think it was the battle we expected.
Yeah.
What we'll do, we'll get on to the actual. Do you have anything else to say about the window before we firmly close it so no pesky flies can get in?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
In that case, 35 minutes in, we will get on to the actual football after this. I think all that needs to be said about Shrewsbury really is that it was the battle we expected when we chatted about it last week, really.
It wasn't pretty.
It was not pretty in the slightest. But it was one of those that if we do go up in the summer, if we do go up in May, that'll be one of the games that you look back at and think, well, that's it.
Yeah. I think I was in the 1883 because fancy and because I love Dan Malt. We should call this the Dan Malt Appreciation Podcast Week because he's
every week should be Dan Malt Appreciation Week, as far as I'm concerned.
So so Charlie does his kind of pre-game thing, which I'm sure that not many managers in the league must do. An hour before kickoff, they go and talk. He talks really transparently in a way that I don't think he does necessarily in like the previews and the post game. He's really honest, and I really appreciate him for it. But he was talking about he did his coaching badges with Gareth.
Love it.
And that they play a very different formation, and that they would try and stop us playing the way we wanted to play, and vice versa. And I think it just felt like a bit like a slog, didn't it?
It did, and particularly with the obviously a lengthy, serious injury to their defender, and that just seemed to help. Morgan Feeney, and it just seemed to help us.
Well, he was discharged from hospital the next morning. No kind of long-term concerns.
Because you do fear the worst when the manager is on the pitch.
So that was funny. So we had there was a very active discussion on the WhatsApp around this, because I think it was you were like, oh, that's really classy. Like that he wants to his player, and someone
I was emotional. I was on my period, man.
Someone else was like, "No, he's clearly just sending him like telling all the other players, like talking to all the other players." Because when he first went down, like it was friendly fire. Both Shrewsbury players had clashed heads, and I really genuinely thought that it was just time wasting, and because the Shrewsbury players that were kind of in the middle of the pitch straight over to Ainsworth, and then but no, it was the referee that went and got him and said, like, you need to kind of to go. So it wasn't, obviously it was very serious, and it wasn't as simple as him going on to share messages with the players. He was actually called on by the referee. So it's not nice for anyone, but then also you kind of feel for the players, like having to play on. They spend so much time together, these lads, and that for them to play on with that worry in the back of their heads, but they did play on, and they gave us a good last however long it was. It just felt like it went on forever.
And that's the type of jeopardy that I'm into, the weirdo that I am.
No.
I couldn't have it every week, but sometimes it's nice to get kept on your toes with that bit of jeopardy. I mean, we held out fantastic. I've seen people judging the substitutes basically. It seems on a couple of occasions well, 2 or 3 occasions recently, that the substitutes haven't really had chance to have an effect or haven't made us any better. But it's been at a point where we've been defending for our lives in those last 2 games. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think for the people who just look at the league table and go, "Oh, Shrewsbury at home, that'll be an easy win." But if you look into it, as we did last Monday, and look, this is going to be a battle, so I was fully prepared for it.
Yeah.
If I turned up expecting us to turn them over, then yeah, I would not have been in a good state come 10 o'clock.
No, and both Shrewsbury and Burton, who also have a new manager, have really turned a corner in terms, and they're not pretty wins, largely. Some of them, I mean, Burton, who did Burton? But Burton are the 5th most informed team over the last 6 games. They beat Reading, Rotherham, Wigan. By contrast, Shrewsbury are a bit further down, but they beat Mansfield at the weekend. They beat Wrexham, we talked about last week. They are course correcting in a very kind of considered way. Burton, I don't know whether I've talked about this before, but I think it's quite well known now that Burton told their players at the beginning of the window that they were all free to leave. And so many of them have. We've seen Ben Whitfield's gone back to Barrow, El Watts has gone to St Johnstone, Danilo Orsi's gone to MK Dons. They've had an exodus of players and they have brought some in. But there's definitely a turnaround at play there. And so the teams that are struggling of late, your kind of Exeters, your Peterboroughs, your Mansfields, are starting to slide down. Crawley are Crawley. They are in an awful position and are doing awfully, but they beat Mansfield. So
yes. Speaking of Mansfield, before we got on Saturday's game, I noticed Nigel Clough said after another defeat for them on Saturday, I believe, Nigel Clough said, "Oh, I'd have taken 4th bottom on goal difference at the start of the season, and I'll take that now." It's like, well, that'll get you relegated, Nigel. It's 4 places.
And they're 14th. They've only played 27 games, which is one of the lowest in the league. I think there's only Stevenage that have played 27 games. But yeah, I don't. If the problem with League One is that 4 teams go down.
Yeah.
You know, it's great if you're coming up from League Two, but it's not as a League One team. And you know, Shrewsbury and Burton, if they're starting their ascension, I mean, there's only 10 points between, 15 points between Mansfield and Cambridge, who are rock bottom. But it won't take much for them to drop down.
Yeah, it's getting very interesting. It's even getting to the point, with the way it is at the bottom of the league, that I might start watching some games that aren't us now, just out of interest.
I watched Peterborough and who was it? It's 3-1 on Sunday. Peterborough, Barnsley? No. I don't even know. Peterborough lost, I think. Oh God.
I'll check for you. It's all right.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, Peterborough lost at Bristol Rovers 3-1.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but by contrast, we are now 4 consecutive wins in a row. Mansfield have lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this last night. Mansfield, we used to tell Harry that Mansfield were going to be the whipping boys of League. Well, Liam told Harry that Mansfield were going to be the whipping boys of League One, and then they really weren't. They had a really decent start. Davis Keeler-Dunn's departure didn't help, but it's not the be-all and end-all. They've used that money to fund that. The long side that hasn't got a stand on it. They still don't have a stand. So they are a little bit fragile and
Yeah.
a little bit at risk, I would say. But as are all the teams below them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting very interesting. Well, it brings us on nicely to the events of Saturday. I'm going to make a big statement here, but that first half is up there with the best we've ever played under Dave Challoner. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. And it was
Superb.
so I met Marshall, like lovely Marshall. I met Marshall before the game and went up into the kind of the director's bit, which was really nice. And we were talking, and he was like, "I still think I'd take a draw." I was like, "I'd take a draw." And he's telling me about Jamie Donnelly and you know how he's so good, and he was really like in the same way that we would say to people about Louis Barry, "Oh, we've got this lone player, he's great. I can't wait for you to see him." And then I'm not entirely sure he's out of Lewis Bates' pocket yet. But there was that, like, I felt the 4-1 took me by surprise. I 100% wasn't expecting that based on Orient's form at the time. And this one was a complete role reversal. They were 11 games unbeaten. They came into it. They beat Exeter 6-2. And I said to Marshall midweek, like, I hope you've got your goals out of your system. And like, oh, you know, and very big on kind of confidence and all of that. And they did have injuries, as Richie Wellens, you know, knows, unlike other,
I would have looked in his interview to see what he said about it, but it's gone.
So you know, they were missing Omar Beckles and another couple, but yeah, compared to what I was expecting, and I was expecting Donnelly to be brilliant, Markanday to be brilliant. Both of them have scored. I mean, Markanday's only been there a few weeks and has been on the score sheet several times. Jamie Donnelly is the, you know, although now Ange will be like, "I'm having him back, you bastards."
Well, as soon as I saw people talking about that interview after the game and said, "Oh, there's loads of Spurs fans in the reply saying, 'Oh, I hope we recall our players,' but we knew they couldn't because it was discussed on here last week." At the forefront of breaking news. It's not all a flight radar on it, you know.
No. So so I shuffled back down to the away end just before it started and was like Marshall messaged me just before half time. He was like, "We're shocking." It's like, yeah, you are. But do you know what, Marshall? This is karma for selling half and half scarves. So I walked out of the director's bit and saw a bloke in a City half and half scarf. And I was really confused because pale blue and red, I automatically think City and United.
Yeah.
But weird behaviour, but okay, you know, fine.
Well, I forgot they were playing City in the cup.
Right.
Until about 3 minutes after we'd finished talking to Marshall last week.
I had to. And then I went downstairs and I saw 2 more people. And I walked past the shop and could see these scarves. I was like, right, that's karma for selling half and half scarves. He's like, yeah, you're right. So that's what happens, kids, if you buy half and half scarves.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we were brilliant. They were better in the second half. I think they probably had a tough team talk and some Richie Wellens enthusiasm. And honestly, at times I thought they probably deserved an equaliser. But it wasn't to come.
If they'd got an equaliser, I'd have been coming away from it saying, "Well, it's a shame we couldn't hold on, but it was a fair result based on the balance of play."
Yeah.
Kyle Wotton in amongst the goals. The much derided by people who drink out of saucers. Kyle Wotton. A few normal posters on Facebook and elsewhere were notable by their absence on Saturday night. That was nice. What a proper poacher's finish as well, which is something that people have been claiming we've not been capable of scoring recently. So that was lovely. It was just I did enjoy their keeper feigning injury afterwards as well. Someone on Yellowboard put up the suggestion yesterday of pitch-side polygraph tests. So if a player fakes injury, then you can just go and check with her.
Ethan Pye was outstanding.
It feels like this is just a weekly thing.
It
Like
was so
we were
good.
we were negative about Pie last week, but this week we get to be positive about Pie once again. It's another
Cookie
pie joke.
pie.
You're welcome. But I'm just gonna enjoy him while we can, because he's going for silly money in the summer. He'd be going for silly money anyway, but the fact he's left-footed is going to bang an extra 2 or 3 million on there. Like, let's just enjoy him while we can. Possibly one of the no possibly about it. I'd say he's in my top 5, the best 5 centre backs I've seen play for us easily.
Yeah. The other thing, I mean, less so for him, but and we've talked about this with the Reading game as well, about we seem to be increasingly more physical and aggressive. And
Seeing fans complain that we just turned up and bullied them.
but
yes.
that's what it looked like at times on Saturday. It looked like we were just kind of bullying them into submission. And that's reflect like 14 fouls versus their 5. So but if it does the job, it does the job. And I think it was really effective. I don't know whether it's intentional, but
I think it comes with confidence.
Yeah,
I think it comes with when you're clicking and you're all confident together and everything. I think that's when it comes. I think you just feel like you're going to win every battle. Talking of winning every battle, particularly in the first half, Tanto up against a midfielder at right back, which was a brave decision for Leighton Orient to have a centre mid at right back first half. Didn't stay there for long. I think he got subbed at half time, but Tanto was just superb first half. Again, it comes back to that thing that we've been saying, that these players who maybe haven't got going yet or haven't really had a chance in the first half of the season, they're all going to be big players for us in the second half, which obviously we've done good business on deadline day and everything, but I think if we'd not, there would have been a big panic from certain people. But at the same time, you look at those players who've not come up for us yet, and we'll be all right. They're just like new signings. Tanto is starting to look like he did last season now.
Yeah,
but
again, he's a confidence player.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He got that last season from Louis a little bit. I think the really nice thing that's happened since Louis's gone, we said this at the time, we're not suddenly playing with 10 players. There will be another. There will be
we're allowed,
and other people will score goals.
Yeah,
just because he was often on the end of them. Doesn't mean that no one else will be. And I like the diversity of our scorers at the moment, because it proves that we're not a one-trick pony.
I think we've had 16 or 17 different scorers this season, which is very nice. Interestingly, with the business yesterday, we didn't sign anyone who plays where Tanto's been playing, like coming in off the left-hand side. So that's good. So you'd imagine him, Diamond and Hamilton will be the ones fighting it out for that spot. But yeah, we're all good. It's nice. That was it feels like I'm saying it every week now. I said it after Reading as well, but like a statement win. If you go into a playoff rival and winning, there's nothing better.
And retaining a lead from the 14th minute. That felt at the end, like, I know you did your whole, can we whisper it yet? And I am very much not in the whispering frame of mind yet, but nor do I want to be, for the record. But it felt significant, and it felt like much like the Shrewsbury win, but for slightly different reasons. Yeah. It felt like you'd look back and be like, oh, that was the one when I realized that, we can deal with the slow games and the, keep the lead. And a couple of seasons ago, that absolutely wasn't the case. We'd go 1-0 up and just squander it.
Yeah. I mean, up until a few weeks ago, I was telling everyone who'd listened that it felt very much like the season before we get promoted, where we're not quite there. But these last few weeks and the business we did yesterday, I'm starting to. I mean, I tweeted it after. You've just quoted like two of my favourite podcasts accidentally. You said "Whisper It Quietly," which is something that football cliches mentions quite a lot, and you also said "This Feels Significant," which is actually Elias James and John Robbins' podcast. So just find a third one and quote that, and we've got a trio. But yeah, it's genuinely starting to. I mean, I tweeted straight after the final whistle. I was like, "Whisper it quietly," but I think we might be in "Whisper It Quietly" territory, and that's how it started. And that's not just confidence coming from us. That's what fans of other clubs are saying.
Yeah.
Now. Especially looking at the reaction yesterday. I've seen Birmingham and Wickham fans. Wickham, for one, I thought they were running away with it. They've lost the manager, gone out and signed 12 players yesterday. And it's just, can you possibly integrate that many players in the middle? They're starting to have a slight wobble in comparison to what's come before. And you just think it's quite possible that teams are going to fall away here.
Yeah.
If we carry on winning.
And bearing in mind that Wickham, I mean, they're 4 behind Birmingham, but Birmingham got 2 games in hand over them. So I think we just need to let Birmingham be Birmingham and just let them go. We've played them twice. We're done. They've taken all the points off us that they can take.
Yeah.
And now we can just watch them take points off everyone else. Wickham, I don't know. They're I mean, they've dropped down to 9th in the form table. I mean, they've lost to Huddersfield at the beginning of January. Interestingly, kind of when we start to think about Barnsley haven't won since the 4th of January.
Here comes Dr. County.
No, don't say that. But you know what? If I have one criticism of how we are at the moment, we have these great performances, or let's say, prior to the last 4 games, we have these great performances, and then you get an absolute shit show. And you're like, how is this the same team? Like, I can't compute. So hopefully with another kind of playoff rival, if you like, on Saturday, we're on Sky, which is never a good sign for our general.
Can tell it's FA Cup weekend, can't you? Sky, like, what can we put on?
But yeah, they beat Crawley. They beat Wrexham and Crawley. And then they've lost to Bristol, lost to Stevenage, lost to Wickham, and drew with Burton at the weekend. And
I mean, I've said it a million times before. I despise Saturday lunchtime kickoffs.
I don't mind.
It's up there with people who check flight radar on deadline day for me.
I don't mind them because I feel like, well, we're all going for breakfast on before, and then going out afterwards. You can make a day of it and still be home for The Masked Singer. Not that I watch it, but I could be if I
I'm a Masked Singer fan. I've not watched any of this series, so I watch it on catch up though, because there's no reason for that to be a 2-hour show. I get it done in about 15 minutes.
Find it hilarious, the ridiculous, like, I think that it's Barack Obama. Is it really?
Yeah. No. Jonathan Ross saying Mary Berry. I don't like that woman anyway. Don't like her. And they always guess like Beyonce as well. It's like, she's at the Grammys this week. Yeah, she's definitely gonna come on this. I think Katy Perry's on it though.
It is filmed massively in advance, isn't it? Because there was I remember someone saying that they were watching it with their kids, and they'd obviously been away months and months before. Because there was that whole thing about Macy Gray storming off, like people knew about that before it happened. Love that for her.
But that's why I think Katy Perry's on it, because when it was filmed, she was over here promoting that album that flopped, and she also did like an ITV live special that nobody watched. So that's why I'm convinced she's in it. But I've not watched it, so I don't know which one. I just tend to watch it, and if it's a female singer, I just guess at Sheridan Smith. And if it's a man, I guess Nick Knowles, and then try and make the clues fit. That's pretty much me.
Yeah. So Burton drew with Barnsley in their last game. It was I've not seen many 1-star game ratings this season. It got 1 star. And it sounds like Burton did very well as opposed to Barnsley being poor. So Max Crocombe, who's the goalkeeper, stopped a lot. They've got a new goalkeeper at Barnsley, Gauchi. No relation to Fauci. So,
of course. And who is it? Yes, as Will has pointed out in the comments, Wickham have given a goalkeeper the number 50 shirt. It's been a bad day for squad numbers for me, to be honest, because Wickham's got given a keeper number 50 and Marcus Rashford's got number 9.
Do we know what squad number Mr. Moxon has got?
We don't, because there was no numbers on his
It's got to be 20, hasn't it? It's got to be 20, and they're just gonna slip it under the
Yeah, because I'm beginning to think we've retired that number. So yeah. 20 is a suitable number for a centre mid. I'm happy with that. I'll take it. Yeah, it's fine. But I'm assuming it'd be 20. Obviously, Cosgrove has got Onyango's 24. Hills has got 33. Yeah, which is third choice left back for me, as it was. But yeah, I can't fit it all. These are the things that matter to me.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know. I think some kids, some players as well, do have strong affinity to random numbers. It can be a lucky number, and maybe that's the 50. I don't know, but
number 8 for me when I was a kid. I was a number 8.
Right. Oh, Moxon's got 29 apparently.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, we like everything about him. Let's start this sponsorship on a.
You know what I really like about him? He's Adam's apple. Love it. Oh, that means no one's. Oh, that means it does look to the casual observer that we've retired the number 20 shirt since Louis Barry's left.
Maybe they just don't want it. They don't want the comparison.
No, that's fair. I'll have it. Give number 20 to a fan. Forget Owen Moxon's sponsorship. We'll have the number 20 shirt. There we go. Did we get a discount because the shirt's not going to have the number we wanted on it?
No, I don't imagine so. What was I going to say then? Can't remember. Yeah, so no chance of seeing Cosgrove on Saturday. They might put him in the courtyard for.
Oh yeah, and trick him into saying some mean things.
But both Hills and Moxon, I think I'd be surprised if they're not on the bench.
Well, it sounds like Callum Camps is going to be Bristol Rovers onwards for his availability, apparently.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously Shea Gardner has been on the bench, so it makes sense that
yes,
we'll
that's
bring him
true.
on player in.
And Benno. Saturday Tuesday.
Oh, that's all. That's Challenger bingo done.
But the Benno, that was Steve Bellis who said, what's your nickname? Benno. But he said it sounded like it was, he does his Danny Vergara accent. It sounded like that. And now I can't say, when I went through that phase of saying Ivi Torre in a Brummie accent. It's the same with Benno.
Well, get in touch. What player do you want us to say, and in what accent? We'll get on to them next week.
Ruin it for me for the rest of the season, because that's what happens now.
Oh God! Oh, about 150 people have tuned in for it all to end with this.
Oh, it's all right. I had 2,500 yesterday watching us play some drawing game at some point. I was like, God. And incredibly, the numbers didn't go down. We were drawing willies on some Jackbox game.
I had it on throughout the course of the evening while I was doing other stuff, and then when stuff was happening, I'd unmute and what have you. And at one point, I unmuted it, and Liam was playing the song about Swindon wanting to watch you piss.
Yeah. They
We
just
need
want
something
to
like
watch
that.
you pee is. Liam will do it for you with pleasure, he got very into the whole AI generated songs recently. So
Well,
yeah.
that's something I might get on tomorrow because I've read up on it and I think that's something we can do. Talking of songs and the transfer window, before we go, very annoyed that we didn't sign Armando Dobra from Chesterfield because I have the best song, but I'm gonna hold back on it because it sounds like it could be a June signing, summer
Yeah.
signing. But
Yeah.
this will genuinely be the best song ever created by a county fan. I don't like to big myself up too much, but in this case, I think it's superb.
I mean, that's a heck of a
It's big. I mean,
claim.
it's not going to rival the Scar, but it's good. It's good. Yes, yes, we've seen. Thank you, Chris Eaton. No, I can't bring myself to say that name at the best of times.
God. And the other thing, I've been with accents. I've been learning Chinese because I'm going on the hopefully if it happens, going on the China tour. So the weekend, what was it that I learned to say? I have a dog, and it was yoga wow. No, yoga. I can't even remember what it was, but it just sounded like I was doing a really bad Chinese accent, and I hate it for myself.
Oh,
But
God.
if anyone's coming to China, I can't order porridge or soup, so you're on your own for that. But I can do iced tea, iced coffee, water.
Do they have water in China?
Shui. Shui. Bing shui is iced water. Bing cafe, Bing cha.
I don't need to sign up to Duolingo. I'll just come on here every week.
I'll just give you highlights of the things that I've learned.
Do you want me to do you a jingle?
I don't know. I can't say please or thank you, so I can only be like aggressively say Bing cafe. Like,
right, for next week, I'm going to do a jingle for you, and we can have a little Chinese corner with Hannah.
Well, it's slightly club related, so
It's very club related, and I've had a great idea related to that as well that I've told you about, and hopefully I should ask the relevant people about it first, so we'll do that. But yeah, maybe there'll be an announcement about something related to that. Right? Oh, it's taking it out of me, Hannah. Oh, my poor back.
Well, no, I feel like I'm all energized. I feel like I could do another 3-hour podcast.
No, it's yesterday that took it out of me. It was just not even all the stuff that was going on, just the things I found out about myself. I think that was the real issue yesterday. Ah, God. Right. We didn't tell people what they should do if they're watching on YouTube. Tell them before they go. Tell them they can do this before they go.
Before you go, you should like and subscribe, and you should also follow us on Twitter, not X. That's the one, at SK3TV Pod. Sponsors of Owen Moxon. Away sponsors, I forgot to tell you that bit. We're not like the home sponsors. I don't know whether there's a hierarchy. I feel like there probably is a hierarchy, but we are away sponsors.
We're the SK3TV, the mighty SK3TV. We only sponsor away.
Yeah.
That. Job done.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Oh, God, it's a right party, isn't it? Oh, I'm excited. I was gonna say, just reminded me, at one point we had 147 watching at that point, and next live show we do, I want to do a crisp 147.
Okay.
As in, you have bags of crisps for all the snooker balls, and you have to eat them all. I just think it'll be funny because I'll probably die.
Crisps.
Yeah, so you have to eat so you have it's 15 red balls, so you'll have 15 bags of ready salted. And then you'll have barbecue, like a black packet, I think, and you got green salt and vinegar, blue cheese and onion, pink prawn cocktail, and you just do red colour, and let's see how many I can. It'd be handy if we could do a live event somewhere that has a pool table.
Yeah, get Benji on that.
Yeah. Oh well, Benji did have. There was a pool table when I walked past the other day. in Benji's new place, but there isn't now. So
Oh.
it's almost like he's heard about my crisp 147. He wants to stop me at all
Well,
costs.
he did that the crisp buffet, crisp festival at Basque.
He did.
So I'm sure
I
he'd
mean,
be
people in the comments are saying I'm mental. Yes, but that's not the reason why. That's not the reason why. Oh, imagine the salt. I think I would. Do you want to donate a kidney to me? Because I'll probably need it after.
No, I
salt.
can't, because both my mum and my granddad only have one kidney, so I can't risk it.
Yeah, it's for the best. Yeah. we'll let them have it then. Fine. Selfless as ever from me. Right. Shall we wrap it up here? We'll be back next Monday from 8 p.m. talking about Barnsley and looking ahead to Bristol Rovers away.
Bristol and Cambridge or Wigan. I can't remember which, so I'm not going to either, so I don't care.
Wigan. It's Wigan. Wigan, I think. I think it's Wigan. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be, because Wigan tickets are on sale, Cambridge ones are not.
That means nothing. That means nothing nowadays.
No, but normally they go in some kind of chronological order, don't they?
Yeah, just like we did with the window chat before.
Just like that. And we'll be in the courtyard on Saturday if anyone wants to come and say hello.
Yeah, waiting for the offering, because we're assuming it's going to be some sort of breakfast related food. Imagine it's a really bad breakfast pie.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'd risk that.
No.
If it looks bad, I'll be on a Mackey's breakfast. I've got no shame.
I'll probably be on a Mackey's breakfast and whatever they put in the courtyard.
Like a starter. I'll pick you up from Grand Central. We'll do that.
Excellent. I'll be pouring ineffectually at the touchscreens after eating 42 bags of crisps or whatever it is.
Oh, Barnsley chop. It was steak and chips last time. It was a morning kickoff at afternoon. No,
that's not on that.
Barnsley chop. I think they're taking the piss down. It's actual Barnsley. Maybe it's. Do you think is that a bit threatening that they're?
Yeah, I always thought Barnsley chop was like a Glasgow kiss. It's like a euphemism for taking a beating.
Feels weird to.
Phil says it's a massive lamb chop.
Celebrate.
Or is he complimenting me? I don't know. Weird euphemism, Phil.
Right.
Right, it's gone downhill. Say goodbye to all the lovely people tuning in, Hannah.
Bye. See you next week. And on
See you
Saturday.
next week and on Saturday. Bye.